So when we're drawing a Lewis dot structure, since we talked about polyatomics contain within them these covalent compounds, we can easily represent this with a Lewis dot structure by just changing what we do at the beginning and what we do at the end. The rest of the steps are the same. So let's say, for example, I have sulfate, which is SO4 -2. I'm going to operate in the same way as I've done previously. I'm going to total my valence electrons. But here's one little thing we're going to add to this totaling of valence electrons. If it is positive, that means you've lost electrons. If it's negative, it means you have gained electrons. So in this case, I have a -2. That tells me that I have gained electrons. How many electrons have I gained? 2. So I go about this. S is in group 6. Plus O, which is also in group 6, and there's 4 of them, which I get from this subscript. I also, because of the charge, need to add 2. Again, it's negative, which means I've gained electrons. So now my total electrons are 6 plus 6 times 4, which gives me, plus 2, which gives me a total of 32. And now I'm going to operate as business as usual. So I pick a central atom, which is the loner here is S, put my oxygens around. I next put electron pairs in between. Then I put them on the peripheral, meaning the outside. Okay, and I've drawn my 32, so I don't need to worry about putting any more on the center. I don't need to worry about double or triple bonding. Now here comes my last little step. If it's a polyatomic, which we know that sulfate is because it's many atoms with a charge, all we need to add at that point are brackets and the charge. So I put brackets around SO4 and I put -2. Voila, I am done. I've completed sulfate. Let's say, for example, we have one that is a covalent instead. Well, we have them, they're all covalent, excuse me. We have one that is an anion, not a cation, okay? So, or sorry, rather a cation, not an anion, okay? So say, for example, I have NH4 plus 1. Okay, remember before, it's positive means that it has lost electrons, negative means it's gained. Okay, so I want to keep that in mind when I total my valence. N is in group 5, so it has 5, plus H is in group 1. There's 4 H's. Now in this case, it's a positive 1, which means that I've lost an electron. I'm going to subtract -1, which gives me a total of 8 electrons. And now I proceed again, business as usual. Pick a central atom, which is N. H's go around it. We know that we're not going to put any, we're going to put them in between. I see I've drawn my 8. I don't need to put any pairs on the peripheral or any pairs on the central, double or triple bonding, you don't have to worry about. But it is a polyatomic, so I need to add my brackets in the charge. So I add a brackets, plus 1. Voila, you now know how to draw Lewis dot structures for polyatomic ions.